Understanding Google lead form ads terms. Why it's so important and what hidden options you can find inside these terms. First of all, my personal opinion. I've tried the asset lead forms in Google Ads several times and it never was successful. If you had cases when lead form gave you high-quality leads, really important, valuable leads for your business, please share your experience in the comments. And now let's read your lead form ads terms that you can find in admin panel, account settings, lead form ads terms, and I will highlight you several important moments. First of all, if you're using the lead forms, you need to do it in accordance with your privacy policy. So in your privacy policy have to exist information about using these lead forms, especially if you serve clients in the European Union, where the laws about data privacy are very strict. So second nuance, you will not sell the information provided by users. And sell is quite wide term. So under the sell, Google can understand if you just gave these leads to your partner and then receive some affiliate commission for this. So we can call it like indirect selling. In the case of lead form, it's prohibited. And one more detail, you cannot share this data with data broker or partners. So if you are working in affiliate niche and you want to generate leads through lead forms and then share them with some data broker or some company, it's prohibited by Google Ads terms. Of course, you can say I've done it for years and Google never banned me for this reason. And all of us understand that these terms just to keep Google clear from any laws, from any nuances linked to lead forms and personal data. But if you are using lead form asset, just add this information to your privacy policy and at least you will be protected in this term. Auto-tagging in Google Ads. How to set up, enable it, how it actually works, why it is important, and which one step is always missing in tutorial videos about auto-tagging. In this video, I will show you how to turn it on and what exactly you need to do in order to receive maximum efficiency, one single step after enabling auto-tagging.
Igor Ivitskiy, Dr. Eds, PhD, the Young Scientist of the Year in Ukraine. Since 2006, he has been applying mathematics to optimize Google Ads. Named Europe's best PPC speaker by AdsWorld Experience, one of the leading Google Ads experts in the world. A professional educator, over 4,000 entrepreneurs have increased their sales after taking his courses. A practicing expert, Igor's clients generate $50 million in profit from Google Ads each month.
So first question, what is auto-tagging? If we want to receive maximum value from Google Analytics and Google Ads, we need somehow to link this particular user who just clicked on your ads and the user on your website who did some actions. You have different manual ways how to connect Analytics and Google Ads. For example, UTM tags, but they are quite limited and you cannot link particular users. You can link only group of users who marked with the same UTM tag. Auto-tagging gives you ability to link single user in Google Ads with single user in Google Analytics. I'm taking 32 seconds to share something important with you, so you can stop wasting your ad budget. I've managed over $700 million in Google Ads, so all my insights are tested and proven. I regularly talk to senior leaders at Google, and I'm official Google partner. My students, entrepreneurs all over the world, have already optimized their ad campaigns, cut costs and boosted sales using my methods. These strategies work for any budget, whether it's $500 or $5 million. I invite you to use these proven methods too. Click the link in the description and make your ads more effective. How it works? When somebody clicks on your ad, let's click on this ad. You can see that Google added to the link the GBRID parameter. This parameter can be different for different devices. GB Rate ID or Google Click ID, GCL ID. So in my case, when I clicked from Safari browser, I have this parameter. When I clicked from Google Chrome browser, I have this parameter. For us, it doesn't matter. It just gives ability to Google Analytics read this data and then link this data with information from Google Ads about path of this user, which exactly ad it clicked, from which audience it was, and how much did it cost. Also, it gives ability to Google Ads to understand how the users who click on ads behave on their websites. To set up, to enable auto-tagging, it's quite easy procedure. You need to click in your Google Ads account on admin account setting, find auto-tagging and just check this checkbox and press save. By the way, share in the comments who had this option already activated in your accounts. But this is not enough for successful exchange of data. You need to do one more step. Go to Tools, Data Manager and click Connect Product. Then in Data Source, find Google Analytics GA4. Select your Google Analytics account and press Next. After this, just press button Link and that's it. You will have connected product Google Analytics GA4 in your Data Manager tab. That's it. After you did these two steps, you have enable auto-tagging and activated exchange of data between Google Analytics and Google Ads. Thanks to this exchange, both systems will work better for you for efficiency of your ads. How to set up a tracking template, why it's important, and how it can enrich your data, your analytics with new information. So first of all, let's understand why we should use tracking templates and tracking parameters. Just imagine a situation when you have several sources of traffic to your website. For example, you have Google Ads, Meta Ads, Reddit Ads, social media marketing, you have some links in your emails and so on. So you have 10 different sources of traffic and you have some conversions on your website, some leads who leave the contact information on your site. At one point, when you will think about increasing your advertising budget, increasing your activity, you will ask yourself, how many leads, how much money every single traffic source gave me in the past? As Walmart founder once said, I'm sure that 50% of my marketing budget just wasting of money. But the problem is I don't know which exactly 50%. So you need to have at least one way to connect your traffic sources with your analytical data. If we speak only about Google Ads and Google Analytics, then no worries, you have auto-tagging. When you enable auto-tagging and link accounts of Google Ads and Google Analytics, it starts to work in extremely efficient way. But if you use, let's say, another analytics system or another traffic source, not only Google Ads, in this case, you need to think how can you mark or tag your links to be able to determine from which exactly traffic source came this user. Let's go to my website just for example. This is the link to my website. What if I will add to this link some data, some parameter, let's say UTM source equals Google. In this case, my website didn't change at all, so the same appearance, the same picture, all the same. Even if I will add the random data in this UTM source as long as I can, nothing changes. These parameters serve only to have the analytics data to distinguish users who came from one advertising on one social media platform from another. And you can use these parameters to enrich your analytics data. Let's start from simple example. So you can add these parameters at account level, at campaign level, at ad group level, and ad level. Let's start from account level. If you will go to admin account settings, you will find tracking template where you can add this parameter. Always as a first step, add the LP URL for parameter. LP URL is your landing page URL. In the brackets, it means that Google will change with this parameter the actual landing page that you put in your ads. Then you can add any parameter. For example, UTM source equals Google. What does it mean? It means that every single click that came from Google Ads will have, after landing page URL, this part, and you can see, okay, these users came from Google. But what if you want to have more detailed data? For example, you want to understand from which campaign this user came. There are two ways how to implement it. So first way, at the account level, you can add parameter, let's say UTM campaign equals, and add value track parameters. In the Google Ads help, you can find a variety of value track parameters. There are dozens of them. In our case, if we want to track exact campaign, we need campaign ID parameter. Just copy this parameter and pass here. After this, Google will add to every single click information about ID of campaign. The numbers ID of campaign usually looks like this, so some numbers. But what if you want to see in your analytics data not just ID of this campaign, but the name of this campaign? You can go one level down to the campaign level and add here UTM source equals Google, UTM campaign equals, and give some name to this campaign. Also, you can add the tracking template parameter to ad group level and to your ad level. You can ask, what if I will add these parameters to every single layer that I have? In this case, Google only pay attention to the lowest layer. So, if there is an ad level tracking template in place, Google will only use this level. If there is no tracking template on ad level, Google will look at group level. If it's empty as well, Google will look at campaign level. If it's empty at account level, and if it's empty, Google will add nothing to your final URL. One recommendation from me: always after you implement some tracking templates, double check your ads. Because if you did some mistake, let's say in some parameter, it can completely destroy your ad campaign and users can land to error page or just another page of your website. So always carefully pay attention to the data that you put in tracking template. In this video, I will share the difference between tracking template and final URL and why we need to use final URL instead of tracking template in some cases. So let's say we have two options. We want to track our users and we can add the UTM parameters using the tracking template, or we can add the same parameters using the final URL. The question is, what is the difference? There is no difference at all. So these two options will work extremely the same, absolutely the same. We need only choose one of them, or just use final URL without tracking template, or add this data on tracking template level without final URL. What is the difference? The main difference is that in case of tracking template, you have to add the LP URL parameter and question mark, and only after this you can add your UTM or any other parameters. In case of final URL suffix, you need to just add the parameters after the question mark, like in my case, UTM source, UTM campaign, and so on. Personally, I prefer the final URL suffix, because in this case, you will never make a mistake that can lead to broken links from Google Ads. So if you, for example, in tracking template, if you did some mistakes, you will have a problem with your URLs of your ads. In this case, Google just add this data after your landing page URL and you will have no problem at all, even if you add here something absolutely random. As well as for tracking template, you can add final URL suffix at the campaign level, at ad group level, and at ad level. Google always chooses the lower layer, so priority has always the lower layer in your hierarchy. If you have final URL at ad level, Google will use it. If only at ad group level, will ignore all other levels. So I recommend you always use the final URL at the level that's necessary for you, and only if you need a specific setup, let's say you set up some end-to-end analytics system and developers of this system ask you to put some different tracking template, some unique tracking template from this particular end-to-end analytics system. In this case, of course, you can use tracking template. But if your user case just to mark your traffic for yourself, for your analytics, always use final URL. Also, if you use only Google Ads and Google Analytics, it is enough to enable auto-tagging. It will link the data automatically even without any tags. But if you use some additional analytics or additional traffic sources, you can use final URL to distinguish these clicks from another ones. Hi guys! In this video I'm going to show you three the most important elements, three the most important secrets in demand gen campaigns. After Google discontinued support of video action campaigns and offered for us demand gen campaigns, a lot of advertisers were struggling with launching demand gen campaigns because they just wasting your money without any results. I've played with demand gen campaigns a lot, and in this video I want to show you three the most important things that will help you to avoid wasting money with your advertising. Also, in the end of this video, I will give you one bonus thing, one bonus secret that will help you to show your ads more efficiently. So let's go. First secret: when you set up new demand gen campaign, always at the bottom of settings menu, you have to uncheck checkbox enable Google Display Network. Google Display Network is the best invention for Google because Google have the highest marginality from Google Display Network. That's why Google trying and forcing and pushing advertisers to show as many advertising as they can in the Google Display Network, because Google has the most money from this network out of all display advertising. So always uncheck Google Display Network. Second secret: when you set up ad group inside demand gen campaign, always, instead of all Google channels, always choose let me choose, and when you start your ads, always start with YouTube in stream. Uncheck all the rest options. When you will have solid results with YouTube in stream, you can try also separately Discovery and separately YouTube Shorts. But I recommend to start always with YouTube in stream. Third secret, third option: always add into your ads two variants of your video, vertical and horizontal. And always uncheck two options that allow Google to cut your video. So first option, Google can get vertical and square versions of your video, so cut your video. And second one, Google can shorter your video, cutting out some elements from this video. So always uncheck this button. So these three recommendations will help you to avoid wasting of your or your client's money. And the fourth bonus option: if you will go to Tools, Content Suitability, you will find Excluded Sensitive Content. By default, all of these options are unchecked. You have to check them in order to prevent showing your ads under tragedy, sensational and shocking and everything of this. If you work in some, let's say, sensitive areas, sensitive niches, sometimes these options can give you actually good results. But if you work with white hat, usual conventional business, I would recommend always exclude this sensitive content in order to increase efficiency of your ads and decrease cost per acquisition. Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you very simple, very short setup for effective Google Ads lead gen advertising. If you're familiar with targeting in Facebook, Instagram, you will see that this approach very similar. And in fact, this approach will give you more high quality leads than Facebook and Instagram targeting, but with a little bit higher price. So a little bit higher cost per acquisition, but higher quality, better leads. These leads will have higher average order volume, and these leads will give you higher ROAS. So let's dive into Google Ads settings. Now I don't want to concentrate on every single nuance. I just want to give you overall concept overall idea about this setup. You need to choose demand gen type of campaigns, deselect TV screens, and deselect Google Display Network at the campaign level. Also, you need to set up at campaign level country where you want to or region where you want to show your ads, and the language of your customers. On the next step, when you will set up ad group, choose one single option: Discover. Discover is the internal Google network. Google doesn't include this network into Google Display Network. That's why in Discover Network we can see much higher quality of leads than in Google Display Network. So choose only one channel, Discover. Leave the audience option blank, so wide audience, broad audience, without any limitations. And turn off optimized targeting. Small piece of advice regarding audiences. If you have quite specific product, for example, only for one gender or for one age group or only for narrow audience, in this case I would recommend you to set up the audience. But if you have quite broad product that can be sold to any customer, any gender, any age, any interest, I highly recommend you initially start with the blank audience. And the best part, when you create the ad, it's enough to you to create only image type of ad, without videos, without carousel, and so on. Only image. Just upload to this ad photos of your product or your service or yourself if you are an expert, and add headlines and description about your product. As you can see, in my case, it's just my photos and descriptions what I'm offering. Also, one important thing, always deselect the videos and adaptive layouts, because from your photos, from your headlines, Google could generate video ads, and these video ads will look not so fancy, as you can imagine, if we compare with properly edited, properly recorded videos. So our main goal now, not to create like very wide fancy ads, but to test a demand gen with the setup that I've offered you. So only one channel, Discover, only one type of ads, image, broad ads if it's acceptable for your offer, and give several days to this setup to learn and to start advertise. And you will see that you will start to receive leads, conversions. The campaign will be initially 5-7 days in learning phase, and you could think that cost per acquisition is quite high and you will want to stop the ads. My advice, wait until end of the learning phase, and only then change the bidding strategy from maximize conversion to target CPA, and gradually, step by step, decrease the target CPA before you will receive, before you will hit your KPI for this parameter. Data exclusions inside Google Ads. Why you need to exclude some data from Google Ads? Let's imagine the situation. You're a programmer or your webmaster doing some renovation on your website, and during this renovation he plays with scripts, he plays with Google Tag Manager, and after this, when he did some mistake, some error with data, you see inside your Google Ads 1,000 of conversions from nowhere. And this 1,000 of conversions completely pollute your data, because let's say you previously had 10 conversions per day. Now you have this spike with 1,000 of conversions, and then again 10 conversions per day. So if you will check like a monthly or annual report in Google Ads, this 1,000 conversions will affect all of your data. It will artificially decrease your cost per action. It will artificially increase your conversion rate, so it will pollute your data. Or let's say you had some attack of bots, of spam, of fake leads. And usually you had like 10-20 leads per day, but yesterday you received a 500 bots, 500 forms filled by unexistent customers, and Google Ads thinks that Google Ads brought you 500 conversions. And again, it will pollute your data, it will pollute the algorithm data, because algorithm will think that, whoa, really good source of conversion, I brought to this user 500 conversions, this user did nothing, so it means that I can find another conversions like this from another fake leads, from another bots, from another click fraud traffic. If you had this situation, you can go to the tools, adjustments, exclusions, and create new data exclusions. You need to give name to this exclusion, let's say bot attack. You need to indicate start date and time when you first observed it. Better like an hour before first lead or first fake conversions. And end time, an hour after last fake lead or last fake conversion was indicated in your Google Ads. Now you can choose, is it affects all campaigns or some particular campaigns, let's say only like one search campaign. Usually I don't use the changing for devices, usually I exclude all data, and you press save. After this, Google will extract this particular data about conversions from start time to end time, and when next time you will check your data for the previous period, the data will be not polluted by the fake conversions, fake leads, or wrong mistaken conversions. But more important, Google also excludes this data from the algorithm, so it will no more optimize your ads by the wrong data. If this situation is familiar to you and you faced the bot attacks or whatever else situation when you observed a lot of conversions, please share with me this information in the comments, and see you in the next videos. Bye.